If you are a financial advisor that is currently happy with your job, congratulations to you, have a good life, and you can click away now. However, if you are someone like me who strives to be the best version of yourself and wants to accomplish more in life, continue watching to the very end of this video. This video will be about the pros and cons of working as a 9-to-5 financial advisor in a corporate structure earning a salary. I will start out with the pros. The number one pro is, of course, the salary. Your salary is relatively stable, there's no inconsistencies, and it slowly grows over time. It is very predictable and it is very nice. You start out around $40,000 a year and you slowly build to around 50, 60, maybe even 70K a year. This income is relatively good to the average Canadian. And the number two pro is the structure of your job. When you go to work, you work 9 to 5, and when you get off work, you leave your work at work. You don't need to work after hours. And because of the structure, all your tasks is relatively the same every single day. The bank will provide you a lot of clients, or at least a lot of leads with their existing clients that already bank with them. So because of this brand or bank behind you, it is much easier to close all your cases, so everything is relatively smooth as opposed if you are independent. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. If all these pros fit your lifestyle and your goals, congratulations, this is the perfect job for you. However, now I'm going to move on to the cons of why this is potentially bad for you. Okay, now let's move on to the main part of this video, the cons. Let me start out by asking you this quick question. When you first started out your job, who was the person in charge of your training? What was he or she like, and how much does he or she make? Let me ask a better question. If you were to stay in this bank for, let's say, 5 to 10 years, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself continuing as a financial advisor? Do you see yourself climbing up to become an assistant manager or becoming the branch manager of your own branch? And the question becomes, how much do branch managers even make? Looking at Glassdoor, I would say they make around 100K, maybe 120K with compensation. I'm just talking about the average. And let's reverse engineer this to see why is this the problem. The problem is you become the average of the people you hang around with. If you listen to all the advice and training these people provide to you, you will at most in life become the same level of them or maybe one step above them. So if that is your goal, then good for you. Now I'm gonna flip this side to see how much are the top advisor in Canada making. I pull up the graph from the MDRT website to show you what are the minimum requirements for these advisors. And if you look at the third column for the ones that say top of the table, you will see that the amount of commission they will need to make to even qualify at the top of the table is around $727,000 a year. And if you look down the next row, you'll see that their annual income needs to be at least 1.25 million. Now let's reverse engineer this and see how much exactly is this. If we take 1.2 million and then you divide by 12 months, that's about $100,000 a month. That's divided by 30 days, and you will see that you will need to make about $3,333 a day. This includes the weekend. And now let's think back to your current position as a financial advisor. Can you even fathom how much money this is? Will your position even allow you to make this much money? And let's not even say top of the table. If you look at the second column and first column, you will see that the core of the table and even the normal members are making much more money, right? So if you're to continue staying at your current position, you will eventually end up like the people around you. Okay, let's move on to the second con. As you can guess, it is the compensation structure. Why do you have such a limited growth opportunity, and why are you paid so little? The answer is, how much value do you actually provide in the whole sales process of the products that you sell? If you take a good look at yourself and your current position, how replaceable are you in this whole process? Are you someone that just follows a script or guidelines that the bank teaches you? Or what do you do? If you take away the bank's logo from your business card, are you able to find all these leads and get them to set an appointment with you and for you to sell them a product? Can you do it without the brand? If the answer is no, then you probably know where is the problem. The problem is that the bank does most of the heavy lifting for you. They spend tons of money in their advertising, in their branding, which leads to a lot of clients that bank with them. And when they bank with them, they also offer additional service such as financial advisors. And because of all these branding, all these advertisements, marketing, and all these other things they offer, they actually do most of the heavy lifting to even bring the clients to you in the first place. And your job is to just close the deal, which is relatively easy, and that is why you get paid so little. There is no reason for them to pay you more for what you do and how much value you add to them. So now you question yourself, why don't they teach you how to do all these extra things? The answer is because if they were to teach you how to find your own clients, how to do everything yourself, you will become much more capable. And when you are much more capable, you realize that the compensation structure doesn't work, because if you're very capable, then you want to be paid more. You want to be paid a commission. However, if you do everything yourself, you'll realize that you don't need them at all, and eventually you will leave and start your own business by yourself. So the banks don't want to teach you too much, because if you learn too much, you will leave. So what they do is they teach you just enough for you to do your one job that they assign you to do. Let's move on to the number 3 con. Your job as a financial advisor is to solve your client's problem. The number 1 fundamental rule is always sell by your client's needs. However, you are limited by the amount of products that you can offer to the client, because you can only sell what the bank tells you to sell. And this is a very, very big problem, because you have a limit of what you can offer to the client. Imagine going to a gunfight with only a knife. You will be severely handicapped, and this will put you at a huge disadvantage. Why? Because let's say you offer product A to your clients, and then your client goes to an independent advisor, and then they go like, well, why did your financial advisor from this bank offer you this product? What is the reasoning behind this? Why didn't they offer you anything else? Did they do any comparisons for you? Why is this product most suitable for you? This is a huge problem, because the other financial advisor has the ability to sell many products. These advisors are most likely contracted with most of the major banks, maybe your competitors. They are contracted to most of the insurance companies. They are contracted to a lot of other financial institutions that offer different products. So they have a huge shelf of products that they can pick and choose what suits the client best, while you are limited to the amount of products that only your bank allows you to sell, which puts you at a huge disadvantage. So you aren't able to provide the best for your clients because you are limited by the products you're able to sell. And next, I need to put a disclaimer that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, because just because you are an independent doesn't mean you'll become successful. There is a lot more to this business than you can imagine, because starting an independent business is like starting a company. There's a lot of soft skills that you need to learn. There's a lot of networking that you need to do. And the most important, there's a huge mindset shift that you need to do in order to grow in this field. And this is why a lot of advisors fail as an independent, because building a business has a lot of things to do. You need to do your own branding, your own social media. You need to find your own prospect and leads, and you need to be able to maintain these clients over time. And if you decide to jump ship from a corporate structure to an independent, there are 2 ways of doing these things. One is like a DIY method of just making mistakes and learning from it. And 2 is to find a mentor and learn from him directly. You can save a lot of time and a lot of energy by doing this. And number 3 is you can watch my videos and subscribe, because I make weekly videos that help you grow your business as a financial advisor. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.